The Chris Simms 2023 cornerback draft prospect rankings begin with Tier 1, and we have
3 guys.
We have 3 guys in Tier 1, so this is the first time that we have seen this in your rankings where you have 3 guys who are more similar to each other than different.
It's nitpicky.
Not in the way they play, but their talent level.
Right. These are big-time talented players. If you had somebody that told me my number 3 was their number 1, I'd go, okay, I get it. You're not crazy for that, right? It's just not my cup of tea. But let me just tell you this and make sure we're clear about this. So far out of the players I've watched, and I have a hard time thinking anybody's going to up this, all right? This dude I'm about to talk to is my new man crush in the world, all right? Let alone football. And was the most exciting film to watch at a corner that I can remember in a while. One of the most exciting, fun films to watch of anybody I've seen in a while. And it was not only the play, it's the attitude, it's the bravado, it's everything Chris Simms likes in a corner. Everything.
And your number 1 corner is?
Devon Witherspoon from Illinois. Now, again, it's not like by a huge margin, but this guy he's must-see TV. Okay, where I'm going to start is he's up there with one of the most twitchy, sudden people I've ever seen in my life. To the point where when he takes off, you're like, wait, is that real? Did he really get to full speed in a half a step? Did he really make a move that quick and break on the ball and then close it? What? Did he really come down and hit that guy like that? Does he think he's Ray Lewis? Did somebody tell him that he's 181 pounds? I mean, it's unbelievable, let alone being in what I would say, out of everybody I watch, the most tough positions out of any corner in the draft. It's constant, him on an island. It's constant. Even when they're playing zone, it's like quarters, and it's like, you're kind of still in man. He never really had a playoff. He can do it on both. Bump or off, both are phenomenal. It's rare to have that. He's got very good play strength for a guy that's 5'11 and a half, 181 pounds. He doesn't know that. He thinks he's 220. Nobody's told him.
Yeah.
Right? He's that. But, here's – I watched these guys in alphabetical order. And I went, from one guy that I loved to him. And, I mean, here – I'm just going to read my second line.
Sure.
Right? My second line goes, right away I can see, holy shit, twitchy and sudden. I mean, and then I just went, my third round, it's efficient and easy, sudden, and can see the ability to accelerate, whether it's downhill or stick the foot in the ground and changing direction. So there's, as compared to my number 2 guy and my number 3 guy, he might be a hair tighter in his hips, okay? But his twitchiness and explosion and acceleration, and then I think when you add all that on to, incredibly instinctive, and sees plays develop in zone or screens or whatever else, you just start to go, what does this guy not have other than that he's not, 6'2", and over 200 pounds? He's phenomenal. I mean, he really is. And like I said, it's aggressive man-to-man coverage. It's not a lot of holding and grabbing, which is another element I should have brought up here.
Yeah.
Because that's something that goes on in college football that's not nearly called to the amount it is in the NFL, where I go, this guy's not going to get away with this in the NFL. He's going to get called for this every time. This guy plays it legit, does it the right way. I'm just amazed. He's a kamikaze is what he is, let alone being an island shutdown corner.
So he was first-team All-Big Ten. And first-team All-American, Big Ten Defensive Back of the Year last season, and he did not start playing football until his junior year in Pensacola, Florida. So he is a late-to-the-sport guy.
Shocker, he's a Florida guy?
Yeah.
I could have guessed that if I would have gone, you know what, this guy's a crazy Florida guy that loves when the bright lights are on and just wants to compete. And I'm saying that in the most loving way because I am the huge believer in Florida guys. So I really am.
Pete informs me it is pronounced Devon. Devon Witherspoon.
Did I say Devon?
That's all right.
Sorry,
You're like Devon White. Remember back in the day?
My bad.
Kansas City Royals. He is the number 1 guy. No matter what you call him, that's his nickname to us now on this podcast. The fact that he's been late to the sport and hasn't played a whole lot, I think it's instructive to look at his last 3 seasons and kind of making the leap in what he has done. If you go back to 2020, he allowed a completion percentage of around 70%. So there's a learning curve for him here. Obviously, you don't play until your junior year of high school. That's what's going to happen. But this past year, Chris, 34 .9% completion percentage, 14 passes defended. He became that elite corner, which I don't know if you look back at 2011 or 2010. Probably not.
No,
or 2020,
I didn't. No.
I mean,
yeah, I did not.
2021, 2020.
Right.
But yeah, he's made steps, and I guess that's part of it too. It's like how quickly is he learning, and he's learning very fast.
Apparently. And, you can see some of that. Like, I knew some of the backstory there about, him not playing and all that, but I don't get too deep into the weeds with all that stuff. But, yeah, it makes sense because, again, there is some, technique issues that maybe are not perfect, but he gets away with it because of how explosive and how he can accelerate and everything there.
Which is funny in the draft process. Sometimes that's a plus.
Right.
If you think you can teach that.
Exactly right. And I think he's showing in that he can be taught, and he's gotten better in that department to what you're saying there. If you're getting in the negatives, it's very few. It's maybe that he's a hair over aggressive. And what I mean by that is that, he doesn't want to let you catch any throw, any play, any pass. He sees a slant route. He's like, I'm taking it away. So then there's a double move. But his makeup speed is phenomenal. It's a shame we didn't get to see what this guy did as far as combine, 40, all that type of stuff, because he looks like the type of guy that could have a scary 40, 10-yard split, 3-cone drill, 20-yard shuttle. All of that looked like it would be off the charts. But, yeah, there's not really much to look at here and say there's a negative. The technique thing, the hip thing, like I'm talking about, it's minor. It means nothing. Obviously, he's my number one corner. Everything else checks out. Start-stop ability, incredible. Plays bigger than his 5'11" size. Got unbelievable ball skills. So, he's different than some of the corners we've seen be the top pick the last few years, right? He's different that way. And he's not your prototypical, like we're talking about. Everybody wants everybody to be 6'1" or 6'2" right now.
Right.
I think it's a little overblown. I do. I'm not so worried about it. I'm not going to go, the guy that's 6'1", he's not as good at man-to-man, but he's 6'1", and just because he's 6'1", I'm going to make him the better corner here. No, okay, yes, some of those 50-50 ball situations, will the 6'1" guy be better? Sure. Some of those 50-50 situations, though, I'll tell you, he's not going to be there for the 50-50 part because he's going to get burned.
Yeah.
So the other guy's there, and you go, then we downgrade him and go, he's not that good with 50-50 balls. And I go, okay, this guy's 6'4", and he's not perfect. I didn't say he was the most perfect human ever. Yeah. So those are things we got to take into account. But, I think he is the perfect modern-day NFL corner, too, because of the inside-outside versatility there. Jamar Chase doesn't line up just outside anymore, and to the point where we're in love with these big corners. And I know I'm going down here because the big corner, I get it. You got to have that guy for a DeAndre Hopkins and all that. But what we're seeing too is there's nobody in football that can cover the Tyreek Hills, the Jalen Waddles, the Jamar Chases of the world. Mm-hmm. Some of these guys that are unbelievable route runners. Justin Jefferson, I'd actually put him in that. Justin Jefferson's, he's good at 50-50s, but that's not really his game. His game is shaking you and running great routes. Guys like this are going to be able to cover him really well. So I love this kid, as you could tell, my new man crush.
How much do you love him, though? Plug and play 16. Is there any corner prospect in this draft equal to Sauce or Patrick Surtain? I like Witherspoon, but is he the same type of specimen as those two?
He's different because he's not the prototype long length guy. I like him better than both of them coming out. I do.
Really?
I do. Patrick Surtain, as you know, I had Tyson Campbell as the number one corner, which is another one I'd like to say I'm very proud of, because Tyson Campbell is an all-pro-ish guy already. Whether the rest of the world knows about it yet or not, that's their fault, but he is. In fact, the second half of the year, I would tell you Tyson Campbell played better than Patrick Surtain. In fact, it was almost like immediately after I made my cornerback rankings in the middle of the year, and I went, man, Surtain had like his 2 worst games of the year right after that. But he's different than those guys.
Yeah.
And Sauce certainly didn't have some of the twitch and quickness and the change of direction movements that this guy has. This guy's on a different level in that department. Sauce beat you. He's got quick feet. Sauce beat you with strength and straight speed, and then his instincts, right? But if he had to get in the slot like Devon Witherspoon does a few times and has to play some of the jitterbug type guys, that film wouldn't have looked quite as good, right? So I'm in love with this, and these are honestly more my kind of guys. I'm a little bit more into the shifty, man-to-man, really fast, explosive guy rather than the taller, straight liner, not that shifty guy. So maybe I'm a little more biased towards this guy overall.
Yeah, is that different because of the way the game's evolved and who the wide receivers are that are dominating right now?
I think so. Again, I know some teams play more zone, and you might like some of those longer, straight line guys. But, yeah, one, like you hear me say, you can't play zone all the time anymore. You can't do it all the time. I mean, you got in the Super Bowl, you see, you play Mahomes or Jalen Hurts, and they're gonna pick you apart. Period. There's got to be some big plays where you got to go, you got to play him, man, and we can't let him have anything. And yes, and that's where these guys have, I think, more versatility as far as the guys they can cover in the NFL. Yeah, the really, really tall, big guy could be an issue. But the rest of the group, I feel like they match up more than the vice versa of what I'm saying, where the tall, long, skinny corner that's a straight liner, yeah, he matches up with the tall, straight line receiver, but there's like 4 other receivers on the team that they're playing that he doesn't match up with against. So that's where I favor, this type of guy more than the other one.
Anthony wants to know, is Witherspoon a good fit for the Raiders at 7?
Anthony, plug and play 16 as well. This guy fits anywhere. Anywhere. It doesn't matter. He could be the best nickel in the football. He could be the best outside corner in football.
But that high in the draft, if you have a top 10, top 5 pick, you would be comfortable as a GM picking him.
I would be every bit as I would. Again, it's the only thing you worry about this guy is long-term, is he going to hit himself out? He's that psycho and kamikaze where you're like, I hope he doesn't crush himself and break both of his shoulders and, have issues like that because he's just gone so kamikaze in the NFL. Other than that, there is nothing to worry about. You want people to cover Sky Moore? You want people to cover Keenan Allen? This is your type of mofo right here. You want somebody to shut down Jerry Jeudy and his great route running? This is your kind of mofo right here. Yes, he can play. 7 Raiders, definitely.
You have a man crush on Devon Witherspoon.
I thought this was going to be my next guy. I thought was going to be my other man crush until I saw him.
You can have 2 man crushes, right?
I can, but one's greater than the other.
So the one that's greater than the other is Devon Witherspoon at number 1.
Yo, thanks for watching, homies. It's the off season, but there's no off season for us here at Unbuttoned. Me, Ahmed Fareed, we're going to hit all the stories. So hit subscribe for us, okay? We got a ton coming up. My draft prospect rankings, my Simms top 40 quarterback countdown, and videos of me and NFL QBs playing catch and talking about their development and mechanics. Again, thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe. Peace out, homies. See you soon.